modern Corvette Z06 convertible. Now, prior to the vehicle that you're looking at right here, there's only ever been one Z06 convertible ever created, and that was all the way back in 1963. And when I say one, I don't mean one model, I mean one car that ever existed that could call itself a Corvette Z06 convertible. Now, what did we do to take our most powerful standard Corvette ever and make it even meaner? Well, it kind of ties in with this convertible because we had to start at the frame. And if you guys remember, last year we told you we had this all new aluminum frame that we built in-house, made out of 5 different aluminum alloys, and that it was 99 pounds lighter than the last frame, but also 57% stiffer. Well, in the case of the Z06, that additional rigidity has allowed us for the first time ever to offer 2 things on the Z06, and one is a removable roof panel on the Coupe models. Now, they're all standard with a 16-pound carbon fiber top that pops off and stores right in the hatch. Even with this top off, thanks to the strength of this frame, this vehicle is still 20% stiffer than the last generation Z06. With this top in place, 60% stiffer. And now, of course, that convertible version of the Z06, again, thanks to the added strength in that aluminum frame. Because of that strength, we had to add 0 structural modifications. Now, this is almost unheard of. Typically, when a manufacturer chops the B-pillar off of their attractive sports coupe, they have to add weighty cross beams to prevent that frame from twisting. And that's one reason why we never offered a Corvette Z06 convertible before, because that aluminum frame would not accommodate this without needing to add that weight. And that was not something here at Chevrolet that we were willing to compromise. So these have identical power to weight ratios. And then underneath this carbon fiber hood, things get really exciting. We started with a brand new 6.2 liter aluminum block V8, the LT1, that we introduced to the Stingray last year. And then because here at Chevrolet we ascribe to the belief that more is more, we supercharged it to a mind-blowing 625 plus horsepower and 635 plus pound-feet of torque. Go ahead and think of the plus as an asterisk because we haven't finalized those numbers with SAE. What I'm alluding to is, more often than not, we surpass our estimates. So stick around and see what we end up finalizing at, but we know we'll be at least 625, 635. So the engine is going to retain 3 technologies introduced last year on the LT1. Direct injection, continuously variable valve timing, and active fuel management. That's cylinder deactivation, another first for the Z06. Those are going to come together to give you what we anticipate will be exceptional fuel economy for a vehicle with this level of performance. Now, our Stingray already achieves an EPA rating of 29 highway miles per gallon, and that makes it the most fuel-efficient 450 plus horsepower vehicle on the market. We do expect to have similar bragging rights for this new 625 plus horsepower model. Now, the engine's going to be mated standard to a 7-speed Tremec manual transmission with active rev matching. So the rev matching, it anticipates your gear selection and it maintains throttle. Essentially, it'll blip the throttle for you so you don't have to heel toe it. You get a seamless transition through all 7 of those forward gears. You look like an absolute pro. You shift faster, but far be it from us to take away the thrill of mashing through those gears old school style. You can deactivate the rev matching right from the paddles on the steering wheel. Or, for the first time ever, because this Z06 is all about firsts, we're offering an automatic transmission option. It's an 8-speed automatic transmission that was purpose-built, meaning it was designed specifically to accommodate the massive horsepower and torque cranking out of this LT4 and still fit into the compact space requirements of the C7 architecture. Nothing like that existed in the marketplace, so we built it ourselves. Now, rest assured, this new 8-speed automatic is track-ready. This will boast shift speeds 0.08 of a second faster than the Porsche 911's PDK dual-clutch transmission. And even better, we have now announced that for 2015, Stingray models will also be available with that 8-speed automatic transmission, replacing that former 6-speed automatic for the 2014 model. Now let's talk about the exterior. The Z06 looks a little more aggressive, or a lot more aggressive, I should say, and that's because it's wider for starters. The fenders are over 2 inches wider in the front and over 3 inches wider in the rear. And that's to accommodate the massive 285, 335 staggered tires on 19 and 20-inch wheels. In addition to that, it's available in 3 different levels of aerodynamic appointments. So the standard car will have a spoiler similar to what you see on the Z51. Upgrade to the Carbon Aero group, which is featured here on all 3, and you'll get this larger carbon fiber front chin splitter spoiler, carbon fiber rocker panels, and then this larger carbon fiber rear spoiler that you see out back. Now, these pieces can be exposed or painted in what we refer to as carbon flash, which is that metallic black color. If that's not enough for you, then you take it to the next level and you make your Z06 the most track-capable Corvette we have ever offered by adding the Z07 Performance Package. Now, the Z07 Performance Package also featured on all three here. That's going to add these winglets to the front chin splitter. It's all about downforce, as well as this transparent portion in the rear. And this is designed to be raised at the track, again, making this thing as sticky as possible. In addition to that, Z07 replaces Z06's standard Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires with the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2. Now the Super Sport tire is a dual-purpose street and track tire. The Sport Cup 2 is a stickier, more track-oriented compound, and you can see on the cutaway it's the closest you're going to get to a racing slick from the factory. Now all the venting, there's one more key piece of Z07, pardon me. Yes, of course, the carbon ceramic rotors, and those are really the heart of that package. Those are going to give you better braking because they dissipate heat more efficiently, they suffer from less brake fade, but also they're 26 pounds lighter collectively than the Z06's standard steel rotor. And all the venting that you see on Z06 is functional as well. The heat extractor to cool your engine compartment and reduce front end lift. Standard front and rear brake cooling ducts, keeping those Brembo brakes nice and cool for you so you can stop on a dime. And then the quarter panel vents that we introduced on Stingray remain for Z06 Coupe, but we added an air blade, and then that forces 60% more cool air through these channels to cool your transmission from the driver's side, as you can see on the cutaway, and your electronic limited slip differential from over here on the passenger side. Now notice that they're absent on the convertible, and that's because the design just doesn't allow for them, but rest assured the same amount of cooling is achieved just from underneath the vehicle. Now this is designed to be track ready, right off the showroom floor. So you're going to get track essentials standard, one of which, dry sump oiling. Now if you're not familiar with dry sump, with a traditional oil pan where it's rests below the engine and you take on a high-speed turn, well, all that oil gets forced to one side of the pan and it momentarily starves your engine, ultimately impeding its performance. So dry sump, you can check out the mechanism on the cutaway there. It's designed to keep your engine adequately lubricated during high-performance driving. An electronic limited slip differential is standard, so when you're looking at the Christmas tree at ATCO and you stomp on that accelerator, those wheels will bite in right off the line and you'll go. And then magnetic ride control. So MRC utilizes the magnetoroeological fluid in the dampers, and that fluid has the ability to go from being as thin as baby oil to as thick as peanut butter in the blink of an eye. And it means that your suspension can go from being a little bit softer, more touring style, to firm and planted, and it reads the road and responds accordingly. Now we get rave reviews for this time after time in automotive publications. They'll mate our cars against their most worthy competitors and usually call out MRC as being one of the key reasons the Chevys come out on top in those reviews. And that's because you get a vehicle that handles so nimbly and responds so well. You push it further in the corners, overall improving your lap times and becoming a better driver.